Okay, I'm recording the meeting, and we don't have to hear the story about the bees, but this is the ECLA Sugar User Group Support webinar. We are going to talk about two things, budgets and coaching logs. We originally were going to just talk about coaching logs. This was from, sort of signed up from actually last month, beginning of last month, but then there were a lot of requests to do budgets. So I would like to find out how many of you need the budget review, how many need a coaching review, how many need both, and how many have other questions. So just go ahead and start writing in the chat window, or just say, turn on your microphone and both, please. Budget review, coaching logs, both. Both. Coaching logs, budget, both. Coaching emphasis, review budget, both. Okay, both please. So those of you that are on the call for coaching logs, because I put funding streams first, this is slide 6. I'm going to go down and slide 13, slide 14, and then slide 15 will be EC Connect coaching. So you can sort of, those of you just want coaching logs, just sort of, you can read email or do anything, and I'll try to really make it obvious when I'm in the coaching logs. But we'll do budgets, which should be quicker. Does that sound okay with everyone? Yep, cool. Thank you for being so responsive, everybody. Okay. All right, so what we're going to be doing is in the funding, essentially budgets are in your funding streams. So you'll click the funding stream and you used your approved budget and put information in the QI dollars detail, the internal coaching detail tab, and the external coaching detail tabs. Okay, so you do click the funding stream. So you go to the funding stream and then click it, and then you choose which funding stream you want. You will click the 3 different tabs, QI dollars detail, direct QI budget, and QI dollars reserved, and enter the information. In the internal coaching detail, you'll put projected internal coaching hours. These are the minimums that you need to put in. We can talk at the end on others that you can put in, but internal coaching, you'll need to put projected internal coaching hours and billable internal coaching rate. For the external coaching detail, you need to put the external coaching budget and the external coaching rate, and then you save. Okay, so I'm going to do a demonstration. And Stacy, is it still okay if I use your budget?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go in to sugar. Oops. Okay, I magnified the screen so you guys can see better. Because I am now with so many screens, if there's something in the chat window. Oh, okay, wait a minute, there's a question before. We are asking that you put in what coaching rate you determined in the coaching rate spreadsheet for this 3 months extension. Does that help, Stacy? Okay. So I'm going to go into the funding stream and then we'll bring up, when that question comes up, I'll show it to you. Okay, so I chose funding streams. Generally on your screens, you only see your funding screens. And which one was the simpler one? I don't remember. Is it the CCAP, Stacy?
I think ITQA is a little more, has some more details in it that might be helpful. CCAP is such a small budget.
Yeah, I'll put the easy one in first, and then we'll do the ITQA.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so here is, a lot of times when you open it, you'll see the program summary tab. We're going to go to the QI dollars tab, and I'm going into Stacy's CCAP budget. It's really easy. So this is this the right screen, Stacy?
Yes, it looks like it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm having a little bit of problem because I have so many of these windows open. Okay. Okay, so here, I think you can see that the supplies and operating expense, this is your, it says new programs for CCAP QI, 5250. So this is your QI materials, is that correct, Stacy?
That for us is QIN coaching all together.
Okay, well we can put it all in QI materials right now because there's a different strategy. $52.50, was that the amount?
Yes.
Okay. Are you reserving any for the discretionary? I'm not sure what we're doing, or should I put it all in that you'll do it?
No, it's direct.
$52.50. Okay. So we put in the QI dollars, $52.50, and the QI dollars reserved for participants. I sent out a email which I'll include the links. Bill did two videos for making requisitions, and the first video for sort of the extension requisitions uses the example sort of like what Stacy is doing. You're only putting in a correct the direct QI budget, and then after you create the requisitions, you can sort of split the funds from the requisition that's the dollar budget into also a coaching. Does that make sense to people?
I think it'll make more sense when we
do it.
See how it. That's something, requisitions have always been created for us when we send out those things. So I think that'll be something that once we see it, it'll help.
Okay. Okay, so in this example, we just have it in the QI dollars detail, and both the direct QI and the QI dollars reserved are based on the line that is here in the supplies and operating expenses. Okay, then I'll click Save. And CCAP is done as far as putting in the budget. So that's really simple when you don't have a line. Randy, you're asking to be the presenter?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, whoops. I can't mute you for some reason. Oh, now I can. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go now into the ITQA budget, which is more complicated. So, Stacy, you have $12,525 in internal coaching. Is that right?
External coaching.
Oh, that's external. Oh, yeah, it says contracts right here. Okay, external coaching. Okay.
Yeah, we're all external.
Okay, so I'm going to go back into funding streams, and this time CCAP. Whoops, wrong. ITQA. Okay, so I'm back on the QI dollars detail, but this one isn't coaching, so we'll go to external coaching. How much was that, Stacy? Was it 12? Well, I can go back and look again. 12,525. Yeah. Okay, the important part for external coaching is both the budget and the external coaching rate. So one of the questions that OEC had is that calculator, the coaching calculator, you can use for internal coaching and external coaching. But Stacy, what rate are you using for your external coaching rate?
$100 an hour.
Okay. So these two need to be put in, the coaching budget for external coaching and the external coaching rate. Okay, I'll save it. Okay, and then the external coaching hours, essentially just dividing 12,525 divided by 100, so the projected hours is 125.25. For those of you doing internal coaching, you need to put in the projected hours and this billable internal coaching rate. Some of you don't know what your internal coaching budget is yet, and so that's why you can leave this blank, the internal coaching budget. But the two fields the requisitions need to work are this projected internal coaching hours and the billable internal coaching rate.
Hey, Rick, can you possibly help them or describe what the billable internal coaching rate is? Because there might be some confusion of what they pay their coaches per hour and that that internal coaching rate, what that all includes.
Yeah, Michelle, the billable internal coaching rate is it's not the essentially the hourly rate that you pay your coaches on the coaching spreadsheet that was sent out. It includes sort of what you pay your coaches totally. Then there is, there may be training and development. And then you estimate the number of hours. So it's not what you pay the coaches per hour. It's sort of all the expenses related to the coaching. And there was on the June 23rd meeting, so if you go into your help desk and do a search, whoops, for June 23rd, here is the first one that comes up where there could be, I'm not sure which, oh, those are the tickets. Okay, let me just hit enter and use solution.
So in other words, would that then be where they would put in what was determined in that coaching hourly rate spreadsheet that we had sent to them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and so somebody else asked a question. It's not what you pay your coaches per hour. It's sort of the total cost of your coaches estimated in hours. Okay, and there's a few questions that came up. Let me go back to the screen. Okay. Deanna says we will be using funds only for coaching. Can you confirm that means that we forego inputting information into the QI dollars detail and only input the money into internal coaching? That is correct. When you generate, you need to make sure there is an option on generating the requisitions, and that is on the video that Bill sent, and again, I'll attach it to this week. You need to make sure you generate the coaching options at that time. If you've already gone through and approved MOUs, I can help you with the requisitions. So that is correct, Deanna. Oh, go ahead.
No, this is Emily. I'm ready to help with Kathleen and Clea's question when you get there, Rick.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, and Tina asks, external coaching. Stacy, the coaching rate is not the same as what the coach is paid per hour. Very correct, because external coaching would be the rate that you pay the coach per hour plus, training that they have, plus mileage, plus, and that you can calculate on the coaching spreadsheet that Michelle was talking about.
Right, and so the other thing to note to answer Clea and Kathleen's question is this is for the 3 months, so you do have QI. So however you do your CCAP funding and your SRQIP, that is why we're going through this now. So this is not Colorado Shine's QI. This is either SRQIP, CCAP, or ITQA. If you do not have any of those funding streams because you were not participating last year, then this call doesn't apply to you. Unless you're going to use some of your systems building funds to support providers with coaching or quality materials. And if you have that, work with the Sugar team to set up those funding streams specific to systems building in there.
Yes. Yeah, so it's the GAE, I mean, we had it for Race to the Top, and then we'll have it starting in October, right, Emily?
That's right.
Okay.
There's no GAE funds for the summer extension.
Okay, more questions on the budget piece of this? Or Sharon, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you're doing a great job. Thanks.
Okay, cool. And I don't, so I'm going to just ask, is everybody, I did that all and was told I didn't do it correctly. So Rebecca, I have a bunch of tickets because I was in a lot of meetings yesterday, and it sort of depends on the order. So I think I saw one of your tickets, so I will help after the call. You're welcome. Okay, any other questions? Yeah, I just apologize. It's a little hard to get to the tickets at the moment, so I will get to them as soon as I can. Okay, I don't see any other questions on the budget part. So we're going to go to the Easy Connect coaching part. And those of you that, do not need to do the coaching or feel comfortable with the coaching, feel free to say goodbye. And then we'll continue on with just the coaching piece. Okay, so I again would like this audience poll. This is for the new Easy Connect coaching that came out this month. How many have never used it, and how many have done 0 to 3 coaching logs, 4 to 10 coaching logs, greater than 11, consider themselves an expert, and if you're willing to help others, then write that in too. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nevers, 10 nevers. Okay, we got 1, 0 to 3. All right, yay, Mary. Okay, never, yep, 0 is never. Oh, 0 is never. Okay. All right. That's true. Okay. So far, all nevers. Do you have anybody that has used it? Okay. So the vast majority and everybody has said never. So what I'm going to do, I didn't know if we'd have a lot of people that needed review or if we sort of had beginners. So this is going to be a very basic. I'm going to try to go relatively slow through this. If I need to speed up, you can always tell me to speed up, but you can, I am going to go relatively slow, so you can, so we can make sure this is recorded as well as hopefully you can understand it. And again, make sure you let me know if you need me to slow down or repeat something. Yeah, and Rebecca just brought up a very important point, is that coaches can't use it until I get the budget stuff and sugar. That is correct. You need the requisitions in order for the coach to put hours on a requisition, and in order to have the requisitions, you have to have the MOUs, and in order to have the MOUs, you have to have the application, and in order to have the application, you have to have the budget in. So yes, it does take a few steps before the coaches can input, and the first part of this is you need to put your budget in. Okay, Emily, are you ready with a joke?
Give me 1 minute.
Okay. So I'll review what we're going to do for coaching. Okay, so just for the coaching agenda, we're going to talk about how you get into it, just an overview and navigating, a general overview, how you log, and then do Q&As. Oh, good. Demetria came in. She's the only one that has said she's used it. She says she finds it much easier to use than sugar. So she is our resident expert. Demetria, do you mind if we use you if others need help?
No, it's fine.
Oh, cool. I'm excited that you're on the call so you can tell me what I'm doing wrong.
No problem.
Okay.
Rick, I have the joke.
Okay, you ready? Okay, go.
Why do crabs never give to charity?
Why do crabs never give to charity?
Because they're shellfish.
Ah. Thank you. Why do crabs? Okay, thank you very much, Emily.
I have a joke. Is it joke time?
Yes, it's joke time.
It's always joke time.
Go ahead.
Why was the broom late for school?
Why was the broom late for school?
Because you overswept.
You overswept. Oh. Oh, I guess we better get back to work. Oh, that's too fun. Okay. Yes, I agree with the groan, the bad, the ha-ha, the smiley face. Okay, so essentially you get in, you go into EC Connect through Chrome, and if you don't have an account, you click the button that says, the little tab that says create an account, and then you go, there's a new menu item called coaching, and then you click coaching dashboard. So I'm going to go in. I'm just closing a lot of windows so we don't have to. Okay, so generally your login for Sugar is your first initial and last name, but your login for EC Connect is your email and then whatever password you have. So I've logged in, and we see this new coaching menu item, and click dashboard. And drum roll, please. This looks so fun, so much better than good old, well, I'm not going to say good old sugar, I'll just say old sugar. So this is the Easy Connect interface that you'll see. And so we're logged in. So it's nice and pretty, and it's friendly and colorful, and hopefully, like Demetria said, much easier for everybody to use. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about just in general. I'm not going to go through each item immediately. I'm just going to give you an overview of the dashboard, which is also called the home page, and there are reports on it. The profile area, which has the QIP dashboard, the schedule coaching button, and then for those of you that have a Sugar license, you'll see a Sugar CRM button. Okay. So the home page looks pretty, like I mentioned. It has a show me option, reports, graphs of hours, and then it has a summary of all your sites that have your Colorado Shines level, dates, coaching requisitions, and hours.
I want to jump in here, Rick, and let everybody know that when you log in and see the summary of sites, you may notice that there are sites that you used to coach that are still showing up in your dashboard. It has to do with the role and relationship. I'm not going to get into that. And so if it's like a massive problem that you see them, you're like, this is ugly, I don't want them there, give us a week and then we will start taking requests to have those removed. Or we'll do another one of these calls to show you how to do that. But just wanted to let you know that is completely normal at this point.
Thanks, Demetria. You have real life experience. I appreciate it. I'm just a test person. So, so you're saying that, you know, there'd be so many accounts, it's hard to see what you're really working with.
Well, it's not hard to see what you're working with. It's not, I'm just saying, like, let's say you coach 10 sites right now, but you're seeing 13, and 3 of them are sites you used to coach but no longer do. That could happen.
Okay. Okay, so you can, I appreciate it, Demetria, really, really do. Okay, so here is the main, as soon as you go into coaching dashboard, this is where you go. It has a show me drop-down list, and right now it's showing all the sites. I have 4 sites on this list, Bill's Child Care Test, and then 3 others that I just put in. But you can change your view, so this sort of filters. So if I choose sites with an upcoming rating, I don't have any. If I want to do a specific site, I can choose it here. Sites without a QRIS readiness assessment, and it happens to be all of mine. Sites with no coaching activity, recently related sites, and view all coaching. So that's one of the ways that you can see the sites that you have. And in this little box here, there are 3 reports that you can do. Oh, that's a, Stacy just asked, can we all have Bill's test on our Easy Connect so we can get in and play with it a bit? Let me think a little bit about that, Stacy. We use this for a lot of testing, so maybe we will either make this one or another one so everybody can get in and play with. And I'll add that to the notes for the presentation. Does that sound okay? Play site. Remember. Actually, let me put a note. Need sandbox. Okay.
Kelly, to answer your question about how do sites populate on the coaching dashboard once they are assigned to a coach through Sugar, it has to do with the relationship. When you are like hooked to the site through the lead coach role, it will, I don't want to say magically, but it will automatically connect through and show up in EC Connect. I could explain like the technical details about how that happens, but it just does.
So
the short and sweet answer.
The Quality Navigator decides, puts in who the lead coaches are on the record in Sugar, and then they appear here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your question, Kelly, and the answer, Demetria. Okay, so these are the three reports: last month's coaching reconciliation, this month's coaching reconciliation, and coach's contact report. I love the graphics. Right now, it's showing that I'm a little bit more than halfway done of my total hours, and I have, my total hours that I'm supposed to coach is 5 hours, and I'm on my way soon to getting those 5 hours. Right now I have, looks like 3 on that chart, but you can see down at the bottom here, it says there were 5 assigned hours and I have 2 hours remaining. On the account, so this does show you every account, and then what Colorado Shines level, their rating, expiration date, QRS readiness assessment date, and then requisitions. On Bill's Child Test, that's the only one with requisitions that we can do coaching. Okay, Sharon added a note. Lead coach is a field on the account record. Those identified as the lead coach on the account record will see those sites. Additionally, coaches who may not be the lead coach but who still coach a site can have a relationship to the site added in Sugar. Please submit a ticket if you have a coach relationship added other than the lead. Okay. So if you, and Sharon, that's the same way if more than one person is working on one site through a ticket, we can do that for people as well. So, okay. Where am I at? Okay. So this is just the overview. And then if you go into, actually, as a Julia is saying, as a supervisor, I would like to be listed on all of our sites so I can see all the coaches are doing. I believe those in the grant lead will see all associated sites. I don't think right now that people can see that, but we'll look at that specific question. Yeah, Sharon is saying we'll look into it. Okay. Any other questions on so far, just sort of on the overview of the site? Okay. So the next part we're going to go into is the profile of an individual site. And it shows you more detail, and specifically for the site, it will show you information about the site, a graphic, a button to go to the QIP dashboard, the graph of your hours, requisitions, and coaching logs. Okay, there's another question that came up. Katie asked, if we don't have access to Sugar, is there any way to log Outreach in EC Connect? Right now, it has to be done through Sugar, but it really is going to look cool in late September. There'll be a communication and outreach, another menu item In addition to coaching, there'll be communication and outreach.
And I'll say one more thing about that. We are working on creating like an Excel sheet where you can kind of fill in a communication log that replicates the one in Sugar, and then kind of like submit it to your QI Navigator once a week, and then that way they can update it for you. Okay. That way you're not like sending communications every day.
Right. Okay. So did everybody hear that? That we're working on an option where you just create an Excel spreadsheet and then give it to QI Navigator, and they will do an update for all those spreadsheets. Jackie is asking, will I be able to see previous coaching logs from Sugar? Those that are not archived, you can see, and that will be from Sugar. Demetria, have you? I haven't been playing with it enough. Are you only seeing the extension, the summer extension stuff, or are you seeing older coaching logs too? Oh,
all the coaching logs from this last program year are in EC Connect. They should have come over on EC Connect.
Okay.
So any coaching that happened in the last fiscal year should have come over with the merging.
Okay. So in those reports, let me get back to it. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Whoop, okay. And this last month's coaching reconciliation, this month, and then coach's contact report. So last month, this month, you'll be able to see. But through Sugar, you'll
yes.
see this is in EC Connect, and in Sugar, you should also be able to see those.
Yes.
And you have more options in, this in EC Connect is right now these 2 reports, but Sugar has many more reports right now. Okay, so we're going to go into the profile for Bill's Child Care Test, and you can see that we got the information like what type of care it is, license level, and the Cardinal Shines level, contact information, address. Here's some more information, has classrooms, etc. And then specifically for this site, it has its own graph of how many hours you've used. Okay, yeah, there are more questions that came up about coaches don't having access to Sugar. Yes, this is a temporary solution. Right now, the full release will be at the end of September. Okay. Okay, and Sharon says you can see last program year and current program year and current EC Connect dashboard. Okay, go back to where I'm at. Oops. Okay. All right, so to create a coaching log, you go to the dashboard and you can either click on in the requisition area, schedule coaching. You can go into the profile requisition and schedule coaching. You fill out the first page and then you save it as a draft or a schedule. Sort of as a tip, if you have orange, I think these are sort of yellowish orange or brown fields while you're filling it out, that means that those are required. And, I've clicked on a button and it says you still need to fill the assessment and observation type out. Okay, after you fill the fields out on the first page, you can save it as a draft or schedule.
I want to step in here real quick.
Okay.
So one thing that's been brought to our attention is that the values aren't calculating correctly. And what we recommend you do is that as long as that's the only problem you're having, like everything else is sticking, and then when you hit schedule or complete and reconcile, you notice that the value is staying at 2.5, just to keep going, keep scheduling, keep complete and reconciling, and then submit a ticket and let ECLA know that you noticed that, give one example, didn't calculate correctly. And then we can go in and look at all those logs. Because we're trying to determine if it's an every time thing, is it an every coach thing, is it happening once or twice or every time issue. And then that way we can kind of get a better sense of it and kind of see the solutions to go about fixing it. And we will then go in and fix it for you within 48 hours. So don't worry about that piece, it'll get fixed.
Okay, so you're talking about the hours where it doesn't calculate the hours correctly?
Yeah, you'll log your coaching from like 12 to 2, which is 2 hours, and it will save at 0.25 hours. Like it won't calculate the whole session.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Well, so to me it does. So yeah, if it doesn't calculate correctly, or if there's, you know, and since people are just starting with it, you may see other things that you'll need help. So definitely submit a ticket. And we'll be having Demetria and others, I think we're going to be helping quite a bit and get us through this stage. Okay, so when you see a schedule coaching button, there's one here in the requisition on the site. If I go back to the dashboard, there's also a schedule coaching button under this requisition on this account. So you can go to any of the schedule coaching buttons and create a new coaching log. Okay, and Sharon mentioned Demetria, Lelania, and Sharon, will be helping with the support tickets starting as of next Wednesday. So I'm so excited. That's actually when the retreat starts for ECLA, and so DECC is stepping in and helping. They're going to be taking over the tickets soon anyway, but I appreciate them starting early. So thank you, Demetria, Lelania, and Sharon. Okay, so again, you click the schedule coaching button. And you'll get just a few fields to start with. I'm going to go. So the fields you'll get are on the screen. If you want, because you chose from Bill's Child Care Test, you could see, you know, this is the one that's default, but you can choose your other accounts if you want to. We'll keep it at Bill's. And the requisition that we chose was the one there. If you have other requisitions for Bill, like this one only has CCAP, but if we had ITQA or school readiness, we would see those requisitions. Then you can choose the coaching time type, either call, offsite, in-person, or custom training. The assessment, I'm going to put not applicable, but you could do assessment in progress, readiness, or VPP.
Look at that. I think he's at camp, so it may not be until later.
Somebody is coming through talking about camp, so if you could mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, observation type, Eckers, class, and not applicable. And then here is the start date and end date. And this will be, we're working on this to make it a little bit easier, but you choose, let's say it's today, and then you can choose the time by clicking on the first little box. So let's say this was at 10 o'clock. And then when I click this, it again to 14, it changes the second time to 7/14/2007 at 12 p.m., which would be, 14 hours. So I need, oh no, this one would be 2 hours. Gotta remember AM and PM or noon. So, but let's say it's 11, so it's only 1 hour, so I have to go in and edit this. And then apply.
You just made it 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Whoops. Okay, that would be too long. And actually what's sort of, 11, so be careful with the calendar. We're working on a.
You made it 11 p.m. again.
There. I think I got it right. Okay. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So we're working on getting that one approved. So what you could do is you could either go into schedule more details or save this as a draft. I'm going to save it as a draft. And then if I go back and look at the dashboard, and I have to go into this profile for Bill. Where is the, let's see. It's probably this one. That's interesting. 7/14. Oh, here it is. There's a 1 hour. Okay, so Dimitri,
I want to point something out to you is that it didn't save within the coaching detail. It moved the time to 4 to 5. Don't worry about that because when you click in to the actual coaching detail, the time is still right.
Okay.
And it's just something funky that we're also working on. And grant leads, and maybe we should have a separate meeting with grant leads, can easily update it in Sugar. So.
Okay. So, but if we click on, so this is the one because it's 1 hour and it's a draft. There was 0.25 of the prep time that's default. So I had just saved it as a draft, and you can see that here. And if I click on schedule coaching, what Dimitri is saying is, see here it's 10 to 11 still. And what's nice, I like this little thing. It says lasting an hour, so you can sort of double check your time. If I had left the PM, it would have said like 11 hours or something like that, or 13 hours. So this is nice, this little tip right here. So when I want to continue working on this, I click schedule. And then I continue filling this out. So I'm going to just put not applicable, coaching type. I'll put QRS, billable type. In this case, I'm going to do it billable to funder. So it's the same type of screen, but it's much friendlier than the screens before. So, coach next steps, what I'm going to do next. You would put that in, and then provider next steps is what you want the provider or teacher. And it does go into the QIP dashboard, and then you write in details of what happened, and then any additional notes. the QIP category you put in, well, I'm going to put learning environment and then select one of the ones. There's lots in Bill, so I probably will clean this out if we use this as sort of the sandbox for you guys to play with. And then you choose the scope. So you can do specific classrooms, and then it has a drop down of which classrooms are at the site. And then you would click, if you wanted to edit this more, you click Save as Scheduled. But when you click Complete, it will complete and reconcile, and the coach won't be able to edit it. Dimitri, do you have anything to add on this screen?
I'm trying to mirror your screen to my screen
Okay.
while it connects to make sure not that I'm following along, but that the information is as it appears to be. So far it's correct. So if you save as draft, and then
yeah, Cheryl, when you do it as a draft, it only remembers those first few screens, but then you click on Save as Scheduled, and it puts the rest of the items in here. If you want to edit this later, you aren't complete with it, let's say you need to add more notes, click Save as Scheduled. But if you click Complete, that means it's complete and reconciled, and you won't be able to edit it. Oh, and I wanted to mention on coaching subtypes, if you want, you can click on one and then hold your control key down and click on multiple ones if you want to choose more than one subtype. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click Save as Scheduled. Cheryl's asking, will we be able to edit in the complete screen mode in the future? I don't know what maybe Sharon can answer that as far as development, but if it's complete, the only way that I know right now of editing it is if the Quality Navigator goes into Sugar and changes the status back to like draft or scheduled or something like that. So Sharon, do you know if if after they mark it as complete, will they be able to go in and edit it again?
I can answer that. The answer is no.
Okay.
So you will have to go through Sugar after something's been complete and reconciled. And to go back to Cheryl's first question, you can edit in draft status. You can edit all the way up until complete and reconciled status. Once you hit complete and reconciled, it's complete and reconciled, and you'll have to go to whoever has the Sugar access with your organization or team and have them edit it for you.
Thank you. Cool.
And just as a quick note, the reason for that is that once you have marked it as complete and reconciled, it means that you're kind of attesting to its accuracy. And so for reporting purposes and all of that, you just want to be sure that it's actually complete and reconciled. There will be no changes. And then it sort of preserves that record for reporting purposes. So that's why there are different statuses. So if you're not totally sure, you want to come back and make changes later, then just leave it in your other statuses before complete and reconciled.
Yeah, so complete.
And Randy Mendez, to answer your question, a coaching visit, you said so a coaching visit always has to be scheduled first. That depends on your council or organization's policies and procedures. Some councils or organizations do not require that. They just coach and then they complete and reconcile their visit when they get back. Other organizations or councils require that it does be scheduled first, and then you go and complete your visit. So it would depend on your policies and procedures with whoever you work for.
But as far as actually doing it within the Easy Connect, you got to click the Schedule Coaching button first in order to get into it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Janina, I don't know what you said. Question mark, period, comma, and MNB. Okay. So any other questions? There's only a couple more things I want to show you, but those are the main parts of coaching. Deanna says, previously providers could request coaching through EC Connect. Can they still do so? And can the providers see coaching logs? Demetria, what, I assume that
the providers cannot see coaching logs. That's first and foremost. And they can request coaching, but that's through the QI request dashboard, which is not connected to the coaching dashboard.
Okay, yeah, but they can request, and they see just a tiny bit of the coaching logs, like what the next steps are, right?
Well, no. So that previously, when they were being when coaching was being done through Sugar, that information was being pulled over just so that providers could see what their next steps were and what a summation of kind of what had happened on the coaching visit. They kind of get the same little snippet from the coaching log now.
Okay.
That part hasn't changed, but they cannot see coaching logs.
Yeah, they can't see the details. Yeah, they only see
exactly.
like the date and then what the next step is or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay. Danielle, you said you have a question? If a site is scheduled, does it subtract it from their allocated coaching time? Yes, it does subtract it from the allocated coaching time. Yeah, we all answered that at once. Sharon, Demetria, and I. Okay, so one cool thing that I just wanted to show you that I just really liked is when you're on the profile. So again, I'll go back to the dashboard. Maybe I will. It's taking longer. Okay, and then I go to profile, and this little button, it looks like one of the map buttons. You click that, and it goes into Google Maps. It shows you right where the provider is. And what's really cool, you can click directions just like in normal Google Maps and put in your address. And the coach can get directions and how long it's going to take and all that kind of stuff. So that's directly through EC Connect. So I really like that. There's going to be things like that that we can add that's so much easier through the web than through Sugar itself. Yeah, Nicole, this is the address is listed as the shipping address, correct? This is Kristen. Will we be able to have me, QI Nav, and the coach linked as lead coach? I think, Dimitri, you said that we can change the roles or we can add roles.
Okay, so so as of right now, this moment, only the lead coach is able to see the site and log coaching hours. We are developing what's called a privileged role that will allow a second or third person access to see the site and log coaching hours. We're at the point right now, we have created it for one person regarding a certain position, but we will create a position, we don't know what we're going to call it at this point, and make that a privileged role, and then create another position and make that a privileged role that will allow up to 2 people access to one site that are not listed as a lead coach. And so that should be done by the end of the week, and then we will be in touch with how to add those 1 to 2 people to the program and get them the access that you believe they need.
Okay, Cool.
So just wanted to jump in, and I have been out of the loop a little bit with some personal travel, but I do believe that the intention is to have the QI Navigator have full access to all of their sites through the coaching dashboard, and also just like they do in spending. And so that would, I think, Demetria, the privileged role that you're talking about is sort of if like there's a, like in the example of Clayton Early Learning, they kind of have one person who's responsible for overseeing all the different coaching, external coaching that's provided. So that, I think that's a little different. The QI Navigator should have access to all the coaching records, but it sounds like that's not yet in place. So I'll check in with the developers just to be sure that that's still on their list to do.
Thanks, Sharon. Regarding trainings and Easy Connect, is that something that providers will only be able to register if they have grant funds? I know we're working on a training module that will be done in September. I think it's broader than
yeah. Do you want me to speak to that, Rick?
Pardon me?
Do you want me to speak to that?
I would.
Okay, great. So we are really excited to be rolling out a full training registration system that will be for the first time available to all councils. As many of you know, the Denver Council has used Sugar for training registrations for about 5 years, but we are redesigning so that it's really user-friendly, and that will be initially released for user acceptance testing by the end of next week. And so then we're going to be doing some internal testing, and we hope to have that out to all the councils to take a look at in August. So that is something that you are welcome to use but not required to use. And what is exciting is once we roll out with the full EC Connect relaunch in late September, people will be able to use their quality improvement funds to pay for trainings that have a fee associated, as long as they're kind of approved and that kind of thing. And we're also working with PDIS to ensure that there's a really simple import process that we'd be able to get that information. Once attendance has been tracked, we can get that information in PDIS very easily. So we're excited about that. You'll be seeing more information about that in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Sharon. Did that answer your question, Deanna?
All right, well, it sounds like you still have to have grant funds to be able to use it. Is that correct?
Are you talking about the provider having grant funds or a council having specific grant funds?
The provider.
So no, we are actually creating it in a very flexible environment so that providers can pay with a credit card, or they can't work. The training could be free, so there's no registration fee, or a provider can use their quality improvement funds, either from OEC or another funder if you'd like to use EC Connect for other funding as well.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Cool. Well, we've run to the end of our time. So we did, I just wanted to do a quick overview. We did budgets and used funding stream, put in the QI dollars, internal and external coaching. And then in coaching, we went over this dashboard, site info, that cool map button, all the different sites, reports, and graphs. And then we went into the profile and scheduled coaching. So I really appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for being on the show. Emily, do you have one last joke? Are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Because the P is silent. You guys know how pterodactyls
Okay. Okay, and Mary says, what do you call a dog mixed with a cell phone? I'm waiting, Mary. That sounds a golden retriever. Oh, golden receiver.
golden receiver.
Well, everybody have a wonderful weekend. And certainly send us support tickets. It's still at support@ecolacolorado.org, including, Demetria, Lelania, and Sharon will have access to that as well next week. Thank you all. Have a great weekend, Teresa, too. Happy Friday, Donna. Thank you, Stacy. TGIF, I really agree. Thank you, Michelle. If Dimitri is still on the phone, and Sharon, thank you so much.